This is D from Baked Bros. Here with a repotting for you guys. This mother we've had for a while. She's been kind of root bound in this pot. Here today we're going to be taking her out, doing a nice root pruning to her. Right now I'm getting all the soil all broken up inside the pot so that we can get her out of here. Getting that patty all nice and broken up. We're going to get this pot taken off of here so we can get a good look at them roots. As you can see, I'm working that pot back and forth, trying to get that root mass exposed. Working my fingers underneath the edge of it, getting all that loose soil out. Rocking that pot back and forth. You want to be careful with it, but you don't have to be super ginger with it. She can take a little abuse. This video was recorded with that new iPhone 14. Camera on it is absolutely amazing. There we go. Now we got her out of the pot. We're going to bring her over here so everybody can see her. Got nice fine feeder roots all throughout the whole block. Good and healthy. They're nice and white along the outside. We're going to take our big old cane knife and we're going to cut her. Try not to get too close to the stalk. Give us just a nice little brick when we're done cutting her up. Normally we would just cut this into a block. Like you'll see after I'm done cutting it, we'll have a nice little break left over. Normally we would repot that, but this time we're going in with an in-depth cleaning and root pruning. We wanted to get rid of all that old soil, all those old roots, all that stuff that was mean, clumped up. As you can see, there's a thick cluster of roots in just that patty that I cut away there. This girl right here is, I think she's about a year old, maybe a little older than a year old. This is her first in-depth root pruning and cleaning, so she definitely needed it. Now normally we would just take a little bit off the bottom of here, and this is where we would stop. Stick her in a new pot and call it a day. But like I said before, this one, she's old and she needs it. Just needs to be cleaned out, have that old soil taken away. You don't want to leave that soil in there for too long, because the soil begins to degrade and fall apart, and it just really isn't no good. It's good to get new soil in there. Now comes the part of breaking the cube up. As you can see, I'm kind of rubbing my hand and breaking that loose soil up. This girl's a little older, like we said before, so the patty's a little caked in there. Her feeder roots are all over the place along the top. So we're gonna soak the block a little bit. This will help break up the soil and get in there with my fingers. It'll also keep them roots moist. You don't want them to dry out too much. Kind of sped this video up for you guys a little bit here, but as you can see, I'm working my fingers down into the roots, breaking them apart, getting everything out of there. These feeder roots are looking really well. They're nice and white, got good coloration. My tool of choice is definitely the chopstick. A lot of other guys use root rakes and root pruners and stuff like that. I just like the chopstick. Helps get in there to the finer points of the roots without destroying absolutely everything. You really want to work your fingers down in there and get it as deep into the root patty as possible. Get all that old soil out of there. It is easier to work your way from the bottom up with these plants, especially ones that are so root bound like she is. You want to work from the bottom up instead of from the top down, because the roots are easier to break apart at the bottom than they are at the top. And once I had gotten this patty nice and broken up, get in there with the chopstick, really loosen it up. Now, as you can see at the top of this patty here, we've got a nice thick layer of feeder roots all towards the top of the soil, where the soil line of the pot is. Those are from years, or the last year of her growing, and us just repotting that cube over and over, and now we're finally breaking that apart. That's what I was trying to show you guys there. Got her turned on her side now. We're just kind of working that soil out of them inside roots, trying to get them tap roots exposed. Actually got some of them longer tap roots exposed now. They were looking really healthy, really strong roots. We run that Humboldt Secret. It's some pretty good nutrients. We like it. Our plants like it. The roots towards the top of our plant were actually a lot more compacted and enclosed than the roots towards the bottom of the plant. And this is me just kind of trying to work all that apart. Here we are, a shot of the roots completely exposed now. Now we're just working the finer points out, getting that old cube out of there, the cube plug that we started with. Working them roots out so that we got them nice and combed out, so that when we transplant them we can try and get them a nice circular root pattern going on. Nutrients do a really good job. I like them. Keep the roots nice and healthy. The plant on top, as you can see, is also really healthy and nice looking. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it in this tub here. I've got water and hydrogen peroxide, and we're going to just go ahead and dip them roots in there and wash what's left of them old nutrients and all the old soil, built up stuff in the soil. We're just going to wash that out. Peroxide is also really good for the plant. Work away some of those roots that got broken off in the process. Try to expose some of them top roots. And then take her out here, give her a final rinse. Just kind of a once over to make sure we got everything dislodged from inside the roots. And then went into the garage to the repot. Here we are, we're in the garage now. We're going to repot this. We're putting her into a 3-gallon pot with the Fox Farms Ocean Forest. We do like this soil. It's good draining. It's got its own nutrient lineup inside of the soil, so you ain't got to worry too much there. These girls have lived their whole lives in it. They take really well to it. And one of the parts that you can't see in this video is I did sprinkle just a wee bit of Dynamico in the bottom of there, or at least we normally do. And that just kind of helps with plant shock and root growth. Just trying to get her lined up in the pot, get her at the perfect height. And then begin feeling. And it's important, you want to work all that soil down in between them roots so that you ain't got no air pockets. I'm just kind of working it in there with my fingers. Getting my fingers down in between the roots, patting that so that the smaller particles will work their way down into the root mass. Just trying to get her lined up in the pot as well. Keep her from tipping over.
Which way are you fucking going?
And remember, guys, with this process here, you want to be meticulous. Just kind of work that soil in the best you can. No air pockets. And air pockets build up gas. Gases are bad for your plant and your roots. Using my fingers to pack it up into the bottom of the roots, up underneath the top layer of roots. making her final adjustments in the pot now. We're getting all that topsoil nice and packed down. She's just about able to stand on her own. That is kind of my defining line. Once she can stand on her own and everything's nice and packed in there, you can be assured that you've packed the soil in there good enough. Right here, I'm taking my finger and just kind of poking it between the top roots, packing that soil down, working it up next to the trunk. Working it deeper down. Eventually she'll become nice and firm in the pot. It does help that she's older and has a lot more matured roots. They're thicker and easier to work the soil past. Pack it up around the roots so that she gets a nice sturdy base. And afterwards, what we'll do is we'll take a couple of the used stakes and we'll stake her down so that she'll stay nice and sturdy in the pot. Water her, and then she'll have a little bit of a bounce back period, but they usually do really well in their bounce back period. These are these used stakes. They work really well on the repottings, just to kind of keep your plant firm so that she doesn't topple over. In the process of moving her back and forth from the tent. I do like to cover those up just a little bit so you ain't looking at a big old ugly steak. And she's finished. Now we're going to move her back into the tent. She should have a good recovery.